Let me draw you deeper into a scenario that is all too familiar, yet powerfully revealing. It is 4 a.m., and the darkness envelops your room. Your alarm is set to shatter the silence at any moment, placed there last night with a promise made. Today is the day it all changes. Today you will begin a new morning routine. Yet as the alarm breaks through the quiet, a soft yet persuasive voice begins to reason with you. Just 5 more minutes, it whispers alluringly. You deserve more rest. You can start tomorrow. Does this sound familiar? But what if I told you that this moment, this seemingly small decision, is where your entire future begins to take shape? It's not just about turning off the alarm or getting up for your morning workout. It is about your commitment to consistency, a virtue that Stoicism teaches us. Every choice we make reflects our personal philosophy of life. By choosing to rise, you honor a covenant with your future self, a promise to live with purpose and discipline. Yet we often falter, as research shows that 92% of people abandon their New Year's resolutions by February. This is not just a statistic, it is a reflection of the battle we all face: comfort versus growth. Comfort has a seductive power over us. Yet Stoicism teaches that the universe operates with unwavering consistency, untouched by the whims of comfort. The sun rises, the seasons change, the heartbeat of nature remains constant. So why then do we, created to mirror such order and resilience, struggle so profoundly with consistency? Today, let us explore how embracing Stoic principles of commitment and courage can profoundly transform our lives, ensuring that our actions align with our highest ideals, not just our fleeting intentions. If you find the insights we are uncovering valuable, I ask you to take a moment to subscribe and share this video with others who are on a journey of self-discipline and growth. What we explore today might challenge skeptics, yet it will provoke deeper thought among even the most disciplined minds. So I encourage you to watch till the end and discover how even the smallest decisions can shape profound transformations in your life. Now let us dive into the heart of Stoicism in daily consistency, the battle with the morning alarm. The alarm rings through the darkness, cutting through the stillness of early morning, and in that moment, you realize that you are facing a crucial decision. At 4 a.m., the world outside remains hushed, shrouded in the shadows of night. For a brief moment, your mind is still, acknowledging the new day, an opportunity to seize control. But then, like clockwork, a familiar voice stirs within you. Just 5 more minutes. You've been working hard. You deserve a little more rest. The voice is so persuasive, so perfectly timed, it makes you hesitate. In that instant, you stand at a crossroads, having to choose. Will you rise and keep your commitment or succumb to the allure of comfort? This feeling is so familiar, yet if you truly reflect, you'll realize that these decisions, small as they may seem, shape your future. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." These are the small decisions that define who we are and the path we walk. Every morning when you face the alarm, you are not simply facing an electronic device. You are confronting your commitment to live a disciplined, purposeful life. This is Stoicism in real time, a practice of training your will, your persistence, and your commitment to your values. That voice, so persuasive and subtle, is the true test of your inner self. When you choose to surrender, you are not merely yielding to a few extra minutes of rest. You are forsaking a part of your commitment to a disciplined life. It is an ongoing struggle between choosing comfort or choosing growth. And in that moment, you stand at a crossroads. You could remain in the warm embrace of your bed, but each time you do, you take a step back from who you are meant to be. Or you could rise despite the temptation to remain in sloth, and in doing so, reaffirm your commitment to a life of meaning and purpose, a life shaped by Stoic principles. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, remind yourself that you are a human being. What do you have to complain about when you are doing what you were born to do?" What he reminds us of is the importance of overcoming hesitation, the fleeting emotions that often lead us astray. Human nature is to act according to reason, and discipline will lead us to a life of purpose. Stoicism teaches that consistency is a virtue, the act of committing to a course of action every single day, regardless of mood or circumstances. Every time you rise and do what you've committed to, no matter how small the act, you build a foundation for your life. Consistent action is the way to truly become the person you aspire to be. This consistency is a daily investment, helping you to build character and strength. You can think of it as a deposit into the account of your character, where each consistent action adds value. Every time you choose ease over effort, it is a withdrawal, a subtle betrayal of your long-term goals. The Stoics believed that small, consistent actions were the foundation of a strong character. They observed how everything in nature, like the rising sun and the changing seasons, follows an unwavering rhythm. In the same way, we have the ability to build consistency within ourselves, reflecting the natural order in every decision and action we take. When you choose discipline over delay, you are not just getting out of bed, you are building resilience. You are becoming the person you aspire to be. And so that moment, seemingly trivial, becomes a powerful moment of decision, a lesson in willpower. This is a defining point in your day. Will you rise and step into who you are meant to become? Or will you let comfort keep you where you are? Every morning, the battle with the alarm is an opportunity to train your will, to test your resolve, and to live according to the values you have set. Recognizing this common struggle is essential. We all know this feeling, the rush of motivation when we embark on something new, the fresh energy, the fierce determination to change, to finally break old habits and create new ones. It could be the promise of a new year, a new week, or simply a new mindset. You set the goal, make the plan, tell yourself, this time will be different. Yet just weeks or even days later, the spark fades and you find yourself back where you started. This is not merely a personal failure, but a shared human experience, a challenge that every person faces. Research has shown that 92% of people abandon their goals just weeks after setting them. It is as though an invisible force pulls us back to old habits, to short-term desires, and to fleeting comforts. Stoicism sees this not as a personal failure, but as an internal struggle between comfort and growth, between instant gratification and long-term persistence. The Stoics did not view the failure to maintain discipline as weakness. Instead, they understood it as a necessary conflict between comfort and growth, between the easy and the difficult. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every time we encounter resistance, whether it's a difficult morning or a moment of weakness, it's an opportunity to continue on our path. Every time we face resistance, whether it's a justification for procrastination or the temptation of sleep, we are truly confronting ourselves. It is not failure, but a test of will. This is an opportunity to practice resilience, patience, and determination to live by our ideals, rather than succumbing to fleeting desires. Resistance does not only come from external factors, it is the wall that we build within our own minds, those negative thoughts, justifications, and excuses that keep us from moving forward. Seneca once wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." We often build these walls from our own fears, self-doubt, and our need for comfort. The key to breaking down these walls is awareness and facing the resistance within us. Instead of avoiding, we must confront, accept, and overcome them to grow. Stoicism teaches us a different approach to these barriers. Rather than fighting against them, Stoics learn to accept and use these challenges as tools for self-improvement. Resistance is not inherently bad. It is an opportunity to test ourselves, to become stronger and more resilient. This understanding helps us realize that every difficulty is a part of life, and every challenge we face is an opportunity to practice virtue. The Stoics did not view challenges as misfortunes, but as essential components of the journey toward becoming a great person. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." When we fight against the resistance within ourselves, we are only reinforcing weakness and procrastination. The key is not to let resistance dominate us, but to acknowledge it and overcome it with mindfulness and strength. Acceptance of these obstacles is the first step to overcoming them. The more we accept them, the stronger we become. And from there, life's challenges become opportunities to practice patience and virtue, bringing us closer to the best version of ourselves. The truth is, no path is easy. We cannot avoid challenges in life, but it is within those challenges that we find growth, progress, and inner freedom. When we move past resistance and comfort, we step onto the path of true freedom and happiness. For the Stoics, consistency is not a burden or obligation, but a way of embodying their deepest values through every action, day by day. They did not see consistency as a simple habit, but as a long-term commitment, a life of intentional living. This commitment is not dependent on emotions or circumstances, but on the determination to live according to our principles, whether in times of ease or difficulty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This reflects the consistency in action. To him, living a life of value is not about talking about it, but doing what is right each day, regardless of the feelings or the comfort of the present moment. Stoicism asserts that every consistent action is a steady step toward inner freedom. It is not the freedom many expect, a freedom without constraints, but the freedom that comes from mastering oneself, from acting rightly no matter the circumstances. This freedom does not come from escaping responsibility, but from the ability to face responsibility without wavering. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Consistency in action is the way to achieve this freedom. If we let ourselves be controlled by emotions, fluctuating desires, or the opinions of others, we become slaves to things beyond our control. Every time you choose to act consistently with the values you have set, you reinforce your inner freedom. This freedom is the result of living according to your ideals and principles, not based on emotions or the influence of external forces. Imagine if we only worked, exercised, or pursued our goals when we felt like it. Our lives would become an endless cycle, constantly swayed by shifting feelings. Marcus Aurelius understood this well, which is why he reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." To him, freedom was the ability to choose actions based on reason and principles, not on transient feelings. Every consistent act builds inner strength, creating a resilient core that cannot be shaken by life's inevitable ups and downs. With consistency, we gain stability that no fleeting emotion can shake. This stability comes from living by fixed values, and consistency in action ensures that we are not tossed about by the random fluctuations of mood or emotion. Carl Jung also spoke to the idea of inner freedom when he said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." However, to become that person, we need a continuous commitment to actions that align with the ideal version of ourselves. Consistency helps us build that ideal self, not in grand moments, but in small daily actions. This is where consistency shines. It's not about doing the same thing every day, just for the sake of routine, but about building a structure in our lives that allows us to grow and develop into the person we aspire to be. Every time we honor that structure, we free ourselves from anxieties, impulses, and inner fears, becoming stronger and more in control of our destiny. Resistance is the shadow within us. It is the hidden part of ourselves that we often avoid. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." These shadows, these desires for ease, these negative thoughts, are the subtle forces that keep us from moving forward. Instead of fighting them, Stoicism teaches us to face and overcome them. Jung's concepts align closely with the insights Stoics have recognized over millennia. Resistance is not the enemy, but our avoidance of it is what makes us weak. When resistance is confronted with mindfulness, it can become a lesson, an opportunity to grow, to practice patience, and to build resilience. Stoics do not view difficulty as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity for practice. Every time we face resistance within our minds and choose not to let it dictate our actions, we have won a part of ourselves. This creates an inner freedom, one that is not dependent on external circumstances. When you choose difficulty over comfort, you are not only strengthening your body, but you are building inner strength. Each time you confront a challenge, each time you face fear, you grow more resilient. This is the essence of maturity, to not fear difficulty and to never shrink from the challenges that life presents. The important thing is never to let resistance control us, but to meet it with awareness. Stoicism does not teach that challenges are easy, but rather that when we face challenges, we can find ways to overcome them, and each challenge helps us grow stronger. We always have a choice in life, to either continue avoiding resistance and difficulty, or to face them and rise above. Stoicism teaches us that the truth of life is that challenges and hardships are inevitable. When we accept this, we cease to fear them and begin to act according to our principles. These challenges, whether small or large, have a profound effect on us. Every challenge is a lesson, an opportunity to display inner strength and willpower. Resilience does not come from avoiding difficulty, but from facing it and finding a way through. Growth comes from facing challenges, from learning how to overcome ourselves and the forces around us. Stoics do not view themselves as fearless, but as those who have learned to accept hardship and continue to act regardless of the circumstances. One of the most important lessons Stoicism teaches is not to be swayed by emotions in times of difficulty, but to let reason guide us through the challenge. When reason takes the lead, we not only resolve the present issue, but also build a strong character for the future. Stoicism affirms that challenges are opportunities to forge our character. Every time we face hardship without giving in, we not only grow spiritually, but also come closer to true freedom. This freedom is not the absence of hardship, but the ability to act rightly even in adversity. The truth is, life is not always easy, and the comfort we seek can often become a dangerous trap. Comfort is often disguised as a well-deserved rest, a moment of relaxation after a long day's work. However, when we keep delaying, when we tell ourselves tomorrow will be different, we are unknowingly allowing comfort to rule our lives. The Stoics understood that comfort can be a dangerous sedative, tricking us into thinking that rest is necessary, when in reality, it only causes us to fall behind. Marcus Aurelius warned, "Remember that you were born to act with purpose, not to indulge in ease." This is a powerful reminder not to let comfort weaken our sense of purpose. When we choose comfort over difficulty, we are surrendering control to short-term desires. Consistency is the way to conquer ourselves, to not be swayed by moments of ease, but to remain steadfast in pursuing a higher purpose and greater ideals. Every time you choose to act, even in the smallest moments, you are reinforcing your commitment to your ideal self. Stoicism teaches that freedom does not come from escaping challenges, but from the ability to face and overcome them. This is true freedom, not the freedom to avoid hardship, but the freedom to act rightly regardless of the circumstances. True freedom is not about living in a world free of obstacles, but about maintaining our integrity amid those obstacles. Every challenge is an opportunity for us to affirm our strength and self-mastery, to build mental resilience, and to stand firm against whatever trials life may bring. Challenges are not the enemy, they are the teacher. When we face difficulty, we are not fighting it, but learning from it. We not only find ways to overcome it, but also learn how to grow through every challenge, each confrontation with difficulty making our character stronger. When you overcome resistance and choose difficulty, you are not only strengthening your body, but you are fortifying your soul and mind. The challenges in life are not meant to break us, but to make us stronger so that we can rise and stand firm no matter the circumstances. This is why Stoicism holds consistency as such an important virtue. It is not a temporary commitment, but a lifelong dedication. The commitment to act in accordance with our reason and values every day, not swayed by fleeting emotions or circumstances. It is the steadfastness in living according to our ideals, not a compromise with transient feelings. Every time we face a challenge without retreating, we not only conquer the challenge, but we also conquer ourselves. We grow stronger, more mature, and more prepared to face even greater challenges in the future. When we learn to choose difficulty over comfort, we are walking a long and arduous path. But this is the path that leads to true freedom. Freedom is not about avoiding hardship, but about the ability to act even when hardship arises. It is in those hardships that we find growth and inner freedom. The truth is, when we choose comfort, We not only miss the opportunity to grow, but we also miss out on true freedom. A life of ease does not bring lasting fulfillment, for it always pulls us into a cycle of short-term desires. Each time we choose the easy path, we are binding ourselves to a cycle of decline and inconsistency. The truth lies in facing difficulty, not avoiding it. Every challenge that life presents is not a misfortune, but an opportunity to practice resilience, to live according to the principles Stoicism teaches. When we face challenges, we do not lose strength. Instead, we become stronger and more resilient. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it is a daily practice. It teaches us that every day is an opportunity to practice virtue, to strengthen character, and cultivate consistency in every action. Every decision, no matter how small, can become a step forward in building a meaningful life, a life of discipline and freedom. Challenges and difficulties are not enemies, they are companions on the journey of self-improvement. Stoicism does not call for us to avoid the storms, but encourages us to learn how to strengthen ourselves through each storm, so that when life challenges us, we can stand firm and continue. Every hardship is a valuable lesson, and it is within these challenging moments that we uncover the hidden strength within us. When life tests us, we must be stronger. This strength does not come only from facing adversity, but from maintaining consistency in our actions. Stoicism teaches that perseverance is not just about overcoming challenges, but about the endurance to uphold our principles despite any obstacles. Each step on this journey is a lesson in self-mastery. We cannot change what happens to us, but we can choose how we respond. Acting with purpose, even in the most difficult situations, is the true expression of freedom. Freedom from fleeting emotions, freedom from the influence of external circumstances. We are not failures when we face hardship, but when we give up in the face of those challenges, we are the true failures. Every time you decide to continue, you not only conquer the challenge, but also conquer yourself, overcoming the weaknesses within you that you once thought were insurmountable. Stoicism does not teach that life should be perfect or free from difficulty, but that we must learn to accept and rise above these challenges. Patience is an essential part of Stoicism. When we face adversity, it is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity to develop our inner strength and seek fortitude. Life is not about avoiding, it is about accepting and confronting it. Every day is a struggle, an opportunity to improve and refine ourselves. When we face challenges without backing down, we are practicing Stoicism in its most authentic and powerful form. Consistency in action is the key to building a life of meaning and freedom. This freedom is not about escaping life or avoiding challenges, but the ability to act rightly, to live by our ideals regardless of the trials and tribulations that life presents. Consistency in action is the key to building a life that is unshaken. If we only act when it feels convenient, life will never be stable, but will always be pulled by the changing tides of emotion. Stoicism teaches us that consistency is not just acting when motivated, but acting intentionally, even when emotions do not drive us. A Stoic does not seek ease in life, but instead seeks to maintain discipline in all circumstances. This discipline is not just about doing the right thing when it is easy, but about being steadfast and true to our principles, even when faced with challenges and adversity. When we live this way, we are not reacting to circumstances, but creating our own circumstances. The consistent actions we take in life create a powerful inner force. Perseverance is not an outward victory, but an inward victory, a triumph of maintaining our principles and values despite temptations or hardships. It is in these difficult moments that we uncover our true strength. Stoicism teaches us that perseverance in action is an essential part of attaining inner freedom. Freedom is not living in a world without challenges, but the ability to act rightly, unaffected by external circumstances. That is true freedom, freedom from within, freedom from our own self-mastery. When we learn to act not only in easy moments, but also in times of difficulty, we are practicing to become the person we want to be. Stoicism does not demand perfection, but it demands that we act with consistency and strength, regardless of the temptations that may arise. Maturity does not come from avoiding difficulty, but from confronting and overcoming it. When we persevere and face challenges, Every step we take is a mark of maturity. Each time we overcome a difficulty, we move closer to our ideal self, to inner peace and freedom. We cannot change the past, but we can change how we respond to it. Every challenge, every hardship is an opportunity to practice courage, patience, and consistency. Stoicism does not require us to make life easy, but to face it with strength and resolve. Every consistent action makes a small but lasting difference, and it is this lasting change that will build your life. When you persist in doing what is right every day, you not only transform your surroundings, but you also transform yourself. Stoicism teaches that life is not about seeking comfort or ease, but about perseverance in higher values, regardless of the challenges. True freedom is not about avoiding difficulties, but about facing them, overcoming them, and staying true to your values and ideals no matter the situation. Ultimately, true freedom comes from acting in accordance with your values, from mastering your life rather than being controlled by circumstances or emotions. Stoicism teaches that, to achieve freedom, we must live true to ourselves, no matter the circumstances we face.